we had the water pressure go to 0 in our well, and going down to look at the control box, saw that the contactor had completely failed given the short cycling the pump had been doing over the lifetime. So rather than just replace just the contactor, if you've got a 3 horsepower Deluxe Franklin control box, and there's the part number, I decided to figure out how to replace everything. So a couple things. When you're down there, you can see how old your box is by looking at the date code. Date code says this was made in 2014 sometime. This is 2025. So everything in this thing is about 11 years old. So I thought rather than replace just the contactor, let's replace everything. So what do you have in there? Well, you've got the start capacitors. You've got a bleed resistor, which is this thing right here. You've got the start relay. You've got the contactors, and you got the run capacitors. Additionally, you've also got the overload circuits. This one is the start overload, and this one is the run overload. Neither of those I'm going to replace because they don't get used very much, but you could Google those. Those are all made by Electrica, as are the start relays. And we'll talk about that in a second. So start capacitor, these are somewhat odd ducks given the microfarad range that they have. It's 208 to 250. You're only going to find these made for Franklin. The replacement I got on Amazon is made for a company called 2Horse. They are, I believe, the Canadian distributor for Franklin. And so that's where you're going to get that capacitor. 27 bucks on Amazon. The OEM version has a bleed resistor soldered in. The 2Horse version does not, which means you're going to have to either unsolder the bleed resistor out of the OEM one or buy the resistors from Amazon, some solder, and then create your own bleed resistor with a quick disconnect so that you can put it on here. The relays, these are available on DigiKey. They're 64 bucks. It's actually 44 plus 20 bucks shipping. And the actual model number you want is an RVA2ALKL. That's important, and I'll explain that in a minute. There's some on Amazon that are a lot cheaper, but they don't line up physically, so that could be a problem. The contactor, got that at Zorro. It's a square D contactor. There's the box itself, and you can see the new versus the old. That solved that problem for us. And finally got the run capacitor. It's a 45 microfarad. This is a 2-inch, the OEM. The replacement I got was a made in the USA. They've got, this one was made, you can see in 2014. This one was made in Mexico. They've got 2 inches at Zorro that were made in China. And given that I'm replacing these as a regular 3 to 5 year thing as opposed to 10 years, I was okay getting a 1 3/4 inch run capacitor. Now, if you don't know what you're doing with all this stuff, by all means, don't do it. Take pictures before you disassemble it, or worst case, you've got the diagram here to show you how to put it all back together. And as for the actual parts, here's where I got them. The start capacitor, got it at Amazon, 27 bucks. Then I got the resistors. These are 3-watt resistors. You see how this is a little bit bigger than the 2-watt that they had. You can go bigger, don't go smaller because you'll cook the resistor. That's a 15,000 ohm resistor. This is the part for the relay. Got it from DigiKey, and this is the one made by Electrica. Actually, it's made by Manitowoc for Electrica, which is the OEM version. Here is the contactor. Got that from Zorro. Here is the run capacitor. Also got that for Zorro. It's 45 microfarad. And then if you don't want to do any of this stuff, you can buy a whole new box from Zorro for 506 bucks. So this is what I was talking about. This is also for 11 bucks or 12 bucks, you can get a generic version. But if you look here, see how this, the OEM version says top is right here, and it's got this little stud here. Well, the made in China version says the top is supposed to be right here. Okay, well, if that's the top right here, and this one says the top is down here, you're gonna have problems. So either this picture is wrong, and it should have been labeled top differently, or whoever spec'd it out. And I'm not knocking made in China. Hell, this iPad was made in China, and it's a great piece of equipment. But whoever spec'd this out either didn't get the correct spec, or you're gonna have to mount it differently in the box, because it's definitely designed to be made, these are specific, right? So this has to be mounted in the box like this, and there's a little nub to make that happen. So if you get this, I'm not sure it'll work. This one will definitely work. And is it worth 50 bucks of your time? That's for you to decide. Anyway, so all this you can rebuild for $164. or get a new box for $506.